going back to 2008, the big thing that changed was we lost trust. We lost trust in the system. People lost trust in the American dream or the European dream. They lost trust in banks. They lost trust in intermediaries. They've lost trust in media. They've lost trust. Foreign governments have lost trust. So nobody has trust. So, well, crypto is a trust-based system, which is interesting.
Raoul Pal's extensive knowledge of financial markets has earned him the reputation of being a foremost business cycle economist and economic historian. He gained unprecedented access to in-depth conversations that illuminate the latest developments in global markets, cryptocurrencies, while also providing a glimpse into the future. According to Raoul Pal, cryptocurrency is poised to surpass almost all other asset classes, driven by the ongoing devaluation of long-term currencies. Raoul Pal has recently stated that in the face of long-term currency devaluation, only two assets have consistently outperformed: high-quality cryptocurrencies and tech stocks. Furthermore, among all assets, cryptocurrencies have the highest beta to global central bank balance sheets. This means that traditional options such as real estate, gold, SPX, bond yields, equities, and credit are unlikely to outperform or may even underperform in comparison to cryptocurrencies.
So I started dividing the S&P by the Fed balance sheet or the G4 central bank balance sheets and all assets. And what you got was kind of a normalized world where the S&P had gone nowhere, really. Gold had gone nowhere. Real estate had gone nowhere. But two assets had gone up a lot. And one was technology and the other was crypto. I was like, That's when I started to understand network effects and understand the secular trends that drive cryptocurrencies and many technologies. And that was the whole thesis I started building about Metcalfe's law and understanding that. Out of that whole moment as well, I started focusing on the technology side of the equation. I'm like, why? Because I'm a macro guy. We're generally technology cynics. You know, our job is like, nothing is new. We've seen this all before. It's all a bubble, right? That's the general macro thinking. And I could see clearly when I looked at the data long enough and divided by the balance sheet and looked at it in various ways that there was something actually much bigger going on. So then I started digging in and I came up with this thesis of the exponential age, which I'll come back to, which was I realized we're walking into a nexus of network adoption effects at scale of which humanity's never seen before of numerous technologies. And we'll talk about that. Okay, so that was that thesis. This is what gave me a lot of the strength to understand what to do in crypto. I realized that crypto was a secular trend driven by network adoption and a cyclical trend driven by liquidity, i.e. the balance sheets, M2, those kind of things. And that if you lean into those, you get the big opportunity. My way of doing that was not by trading in and out of crypto. It was just by adding when it all pukes and everything goes horribly wrong, and you're at the bottom of the long-term adoption trend channel, 2 standard deviations oversold. Okay, there's the perfect buy signal if you believe the network adoption continues.
Raoul Pal firmly believes that those who dismiss cryptocurrencies as Ponzi schemes based solely on their reactions to price fluctuations will ultimately end up purchasing Bitcoin and Ethereum in the next cycle. According to Raoul Pal, the current scenario is unfolding as predicted, with the rapid increase of the Fed's balance sheet during financial crises leading to a rise in collateral prices. In this context, Pal highlights that various assets, including equities, bonds, cryptocurrencies, and gold, are all experiencing simultaneous upward movements.
What happened after that over the next year is the S&P rose about 15%, the NASDAQ rose about 25%. What I call the exponential age stocks, they rose about 35%, 40%. And crypto did, well, at one point 300%, but end of the year up about 100%, which is truly extraordinary. I've also then shown that crypto is all the same thing. So if I use the same global liquidity index, it's basically chart Bitcoin. But Bitcoin outperforms in the up cycles because there's a network adoption model. which is why it does so much better than almost all other assets. So that's the everything code, is the fact that it's all down to one simple thing. And I think it's forecastable. And in which case we know the price of assets in advance, which is a little bit freaky. And I know that sounds somewhat arrogant, but it's a hypothesis that I'll test. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be right, unless something changes. And what we'll know is, are we going to see larger scale QE coming in the next 2 years?
As trust in traditional banking institutions dwindles and individuals increasingly seek refuge in alternative systems, Raoul Pal envisions a potential explosive growth for the cryptocurrency industry, particularly Bitcoin. Drawing parallels to chart patterns observed in 2013, Pal highlights the growing awareness of the benefits offered by cryptocurrencies during times of crisis. He personally entered the Bitcoin space in 2013, recognizing the lack of trust in the banking system following the financial collapse of Lehman Brothers. Raoul Pal anticipates a significant government backlash as more individuals transition from traditional systems to the Bitcoin market. However, if the United States fails to acknowledge the growing realization that there are alternative solutions, Pal suggests that numerous crypto companies might relocate to the United Kingdom.
Crypto is a trust-based system, which is interesting. But what it means that, okay, if you don't trust anybody, you need something that helps you. That traditionally was played by gold. You know, I don't trust your money, you don't trust my money, I don't trust that you're going to do this, so I'm going to keep gold. But gold was also seizable. So crypto played a role in all of this, and it plays it at many levels. It's clearly not a system of money yet because it's too volatile. It's impossible to try and deal with daily transactions for bread in a Bitcoin price that goes up and down, up 700% and down 70%. You know, that's the way to destroy an economy, volatile money. But in terms of long-term overall savings, because it offsets the debasement of currency, which is driven by the debt and the demographics and everything else, it works very well indeed, in fact, better than anything else. And because we've got this ongoing adoption of the technology. So when you go to, firstly, who's the biggest players in the world that are potentially moving into this market? And I think you and I have even talked about this in the past. It's the sovereign wealth funds. They have an infinite time horizon. And what they need is independence over all things. Now, most of them have an enormous amount of US treasuries, which they will do because they have dollar debts, dollar economy, everything else. So it's not like we're just going to sell all our treasuries. But they need other things. Now, they've been buying gold at record pace, obviously, because if the US seizes or renders useless the Russian reserves in US treasuries, then why would anybody want to hold US treasuries over an extended period of time? You either have to be friends of the US or you risk it. So I see a role, and that's, I think, one of the reasons why the Middle East is becoming very active participants in the market overall. And I think for individuals, because of the lack of trust, it's one thing we can trust because it's not driven by a government.
Raoul Pal believes that the banking crisis could strengthen the power of Bitcoin as well as the cryptocurrency market as a whole. People do not trust banking system, but crypto is a trust-based system. Has presented a new framework for understanding the cryptocurrency ecosystem. That wraps up our conversation for today. We encourage you to share your views in the comments section. If you found this content informative, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for the most up-to-date news and videos. Thanks for watching.